Hi guys, and welcome back to the Wealth Startup channel. This is the video 2 of how to make a digital product and sell online, a step-by-step guide for beginners. In this video, we're going to talk about 1. What does your audience want and need? 2. Creating your first digital product. If you missed the last video, please click the link in the description to watch it later on, so that you'll have a full picture of understanding. Okay, let's get started. Chapter 3. What does your audience want and need? You might be tempted to hop in, choose a format, and get to work now that you know a bit more about the various styles of digital goods you can make. There's one more piece of material you need first: what the audience desires and needs. It's important to understand that the two aren't necessarily synonymous. What the customer needs and what they need to hear or focus on next may be linked, but they may also be completely unrelated. For example, the prospective clients may want a simple way to add $1,000 to their bottom line, but they still need a way to create a list in order to get more repeat sales. In that case, the target should be to sell them a program that shows them how to earn an additional $1,000 using a mailing list. But let us not get too far ahead of ourselves. Before delving into your client's wishes and needs, you must first determine who your target demographic and ideal consumers are. Define your target audience. Your first task is to determine who your target demographic is. If you've determined that, you'll have a much better understanding about what the product can be for and, perhaps, what format will fit well for the bulk of your future buyers. Start with a niche you're in, and then sub-niche it to become as unique as possible. You may, for example, opt to develop content and information packages for local small businesses. You can narrow your focus even more by deciding that you want to partner with people who already have a web presence but are searching for opportunities to grow their company and bottom line across online platforms. They're the local restaurants, realtors, hair salons, flower shops, and so on who want to learn how to build a list, bring email subscribers into the store, expand their social media presence, and make it easier to be found online through a Google search. That's the kind of detailed image of your target demographic you want to paint. In this case, you might still choose to describe them as people who want to learn how to do these things themselves rather than hire a social worker. Manager of television and email. There is a significant distinction between the two, and one will be involved in your information goods, while the other will be searching for a done-for-you operation. Solve a problem or entertain. There are two major factors that influence our decision to buy a digital product. The first is for fun, and the second is for problem solving. Consider the multimedia goods you've purchased in the past. Your Netflix subscription and the majority of the books on your Kindle are there to keep you entertained. This interactive product development guide, on the other hand, assists you in resolving the challenge of making money online, or at least part of the problem. When you consider other digital items you've purchased, you'll notice that they'll fall neatly into one of these two buckets. Every now and again, a product will hit on both, but this is uncommon and not always feasible. For our purposes, we want to produce a multimedia product that's either extremely amusing, such as a novel, or that assists our consumers in solving a dilemma. The most of them will be focused on problem-solving goods. Here are a few explanations to give you a sense of the kind of product we're discussing. Encourage your child to sleep through the night. How to prepare a nutritious meal in 30 minutes or less. Pay off the student loan as soon as possible. Create compelling blog posts that pique your readers' interest. Begin your online business on a shoestring budget. Extend your presence via social media. Negotiate a higher salary. Your primary responsibility as an info product developer is to identify or discover an issue that your target group is experiencing and to supply them with the knowledge and resources they need to address the problem. Don't be afraid to be specific. Finally, don't be afraid to be very precise about the digital goods. Let's return to the earlier example of offering digital offerings to small business owners who want to maximize the amount of business they receive from their online marketing activities. It may be a wise decision to approach certain categories of companies. For example, you might build a product on how to start and benefit from a flower shop mailing list. How about flower store Facebook promotional strategies? The tactics and illustrations you use in the product can be very descriptive. As a result, selling this product to brick-and-mortar flower shops will be much easier. Since all is digital, there's no reason that you can't go back and edit the product later, making it a decent match for local restaurant owners or hair salons. The majority of the material will remain the same, with only minor changes to accommodate this new demographic. But let us not get too far ahead of ourselves. Before you may consider repurposing and retargeting the brands, you must first complete the first one. It is precisely what the following chapter is about. What I want you to come away from this chapter is that you need to know who your target audience and ideal clients are, what issues they're experiencing, and how you can assist them in resolving one of those problems. If you figured this out, the actual product development would be a breeze. Chapter 4. Creating your first digital product. I'm sure you're eager to dive in and start working on your first digital product. Before we get into the how-to, I'd like to give you some sound advice. Begin with something simple and easy to put together. You want to get the fundamentals down and make the introductory package up for sale as soon as possible. Don't get bogged down in the minutiae of a big product or course. That can be done later. Consider this your practice product if that works. You're getting used to the process and all of the little steps involved in taking a digital product from concept to final product to making it available for purchase on your website. Any people struggle for this first product because they believe it must be flawless and all-encompassing. No, it doesn't. Remember, this is interactive, so you can easily edit spelling mistakes, write facts, clear up a portion, and of course, add to it later. The most important thing right now is to complete your first product. Choose a topic that's simple to discuss or write about, and keep the product tiny. If you're either stuck or can't bring yourself to proceed because you think it needs to be flawless, remind yourself that you're just doing this for fun, and that it'll never see the light of day. Who knows, after you finish it, you might try to sell it for a few bucks to see if it sells. Remove the burden for the time being and get into product development mode. Decide on your topic. If you took notes and jotted down suggestions while reading this article, you probably already have a short list of product ideas and topics. If not, take a couple of minutes right now reading the chapter and come up with a few suggestions based on what the audience wants and needs. Narrow it down and choose a specific subject for your first data piece. Again, don't go too broad. Instead of telling the listeners everything they need to know about baby care, focus on something specific, such as how to introduce solid foods to your baby or how to get your baby to sleep through the night. Instead of designing a huge course that covers all there is to know about attracting visitors to your website, design a small product that focuses on a single tactic, such as using LinkedIn to bring direct traffic to your blog. Select a format. Once you've decided on a subject, it's time to choose a format. If you want to write an ebook like this one, record an audiobook, hold a webinar, or shoot a video tutorial. The trick is to make things easy for yourself the first time. Choose it if you're happy making the text in MS Word or Google Docs, and then translating it to a PDF. Whether you're more comfortable with a video camera or a microphone, go with video or audio. Choose something simple to make so you don't get overwhelmed by too much technological jargon. If you discover that your target demographic doesn't adapt well to the format you choose, which you won't know for certain until you put it up for sale, you can still go back and convert it to a new or additional format later on. You should write the ebook as text and then create an audio version later on. Make the content. The most time-consuming part of this exercise comes next. It's time to start working on the real product, which includes creating content. I find it useful to begin with an overview of what I want to discuss. The table of contents for this book is somewhat similar to my outline for this ebook. With that in hand, all that remains is to fill in the blanks and share the details with your readers. Set aside some time a day to focus on this. It's also a good idea to give yourself a deadline. Take you at least a month if you give yourself a month to write a short 6,000-word ebook like this. If you give yourself a day, you can go into your office, make a lot of coffee, and get it done. When you finish writing everything, take a break and come back to edit. Correct any typos or misspellings you spot. Then read it all again or listen to it or watch it to ensure that it flows well and makes sense to you. Don't be too picky, but make sure the commodity is of high quality and useful to others. If you choose a video or audio file, you would need to edit your recording to get the final version. If you're not sure about the consistency of the finished product or are worried about getting it out there, we all are for the first few products, give it to a good friend, colleague, or virtual assistant for analysis. In reality, it would not be a bad idea to distribute a few review copies, not just for reviews, but also to collect testimonials for your sales page, which we'll go through in greater depth later in the process. Make downloadable documents. If you've developed and edited your piece, it's time to convert it into a digital format that you can upload to your website and that your clients will be able to view and consume later. This is usually a PDF format with Word documents such as ebooks, concise notes, checklists, and printables. You should be able to translate to PDF using your word processing software. Audio files can be distributed as MP3 files, or consumers can download audio from your website. You have some choices for video as well. You can either have them download the MP4 file or whatever video format you prefer, or you can build a private, unlisted, or even password-protected link. On a platform like YouTube or Vimeo, you can watch a password-protected video. A third choice is to host the video on this site and then insert it on your download tab. This works very well if you have additional files that consumers can import to go along with films, such as a handout or checklist. Determine how you like the final product to be formatted. If you have a big package or many files, it might be a smart idea to zip them and encourage consumers to copy anything in one zip file. Finally, to reduce customer care emails after the sale, provide them with some simple knowledge on what applications they would need to open and display the files. Let's discuss infrastructure. If you've done and packed the stuff, it's time to put the systems in place so that customers can purchase it. You'll need a sales page, a purchase tab, a way to collect payments, and of course, a download page where they can get the file or files you generated in the previous part. Let's take a look at each of these elements individually. The sales page. The sales page is where you share what you have to sell. This can be as long and complex as you want it to be. Now, I recommend that you keep your first product, which should be a lower priced product, easy and brief. Begin with a catchy headline. This should entice the reader to concentrate on what they want or the dilemma they need to fix. Then proceed with a brief presentation in which you move from what they expect to what they require. Add a couple bullet points to let them know just what they're getting. You might post snippets of your product's outline or highlight a few of the product's advantages. Always rely on what's in it for the consumers and emphasize advantages over functionality. Finish with a call to action in which you clearly urge the reader to buy and, of course, a buy button. If you like, you can have another reminder, a warranty, or a message that the product will be shipped as soon as they purchase it. That's it. To begin, keep it easy. As for your own, you can still go back and change the sales page based on consumer reviews and evaluate to see what works best. The download page. The download page is the next puzzle item. This is normally a fairly easy and straightforward page to build. Begin by thanking your customers for their order. Next, you want to give them access to the items they just purchased. This is normally a guide to the finished file, which may be a PDF, MP3, MP4, or a zip file. Embed audio or video material on this website if you're streaming it. It's also a good idea to explain how to download the content, like right-click to save the PDF, for example, and direct them to applications to open the file with, such as Adobe Reader for PDFs and a media player for audio and video. The better you make it for them, the less questions they'll have to face eventually. In that case, once your deal is live, start gathering these questions and writing, adding both the most often asked questions and the responses to a FAQ or frequently asked questions page, and access to it from your download page as well as your contact page. A way to pay. Your sales page will have a purchase tab, and you'll need a way to accept payments for your digital goods online. There are several approaches to this. Here, we'll look at 3 different choices. I suggest that you start with a simple PayPal button and then add more features as required. Begin earning money so that you can spend it in one of the other options. Begin with PayPal. PayPal is the most convenient way to build a Start tab. You've most likely already created an account. It's a really simple operation, and PayPal has some nice step-by-step instructions here. developer.paypal.com/docs/classic/paypal-payments-standard/integration-guide/by-now/step-1/. To make your button, simply follow the steps outlined above. At the conclusion of the procedure, we'll have some coding that you can copy and paste into the right spots on your sales list. If your sales page is short, one button should suffice. If it's a long list, try adding several buy buttons so buyers don't have to click all the way to the bottom to make a purchase. ClickBank and JVZoo are two examples of hosted payment options. Sites like ClickBank and JVZoo are your best bet if you want a bit more versatility, and most importantly, if you want an affiliate scheme for your product so that others can help you sell it and earn a commission for each sale. They do the distribution operation, affiliate monitoring, and affiliate payments for you in exchange for a nominal fee and a percentage of the income. It's a low-cost way to get started, and for most people, it has everything they'll need in the future. Many six-figure information commodity sellers expand their businesses solely across these channels. Your own shopping cart software. The main benefit of making your own shopping cart app is that you have greater leverage over your client lists. You can also do more of this kind of app in terms of targeted mailings, monthly fees, exclusive sales, and combo discounts. Most good shopping cart apps would also allow you to set up an associate scheme so that others can help you sell and promote. Shopping Cart, Shopify, WooCart, Amember, and Infusionsoft are some common shopping cart tech alternatives. Do your research and choose an alternative that you believe would succeed with what you want to accomplish while remaining within your budget. Make your offer live and start sending traffic to it. Once you've created your sales page, download page, and payment method, it's time to make your deal live. If you haven't already, click the Publish button on your pages and then test your bid. This is a vital aspect of any product introduction that is often overlooked. You can make mistakes no matter how cautious you are or how successful you believe you have been at this. The initial test buy is the opportunity to identify and correct any mistakes before they cost you sales and consumer confidence. If all is in order, you will begin sending traffic to your bid. Send an email to your list, make an announcement on your blog and social media, hire affiliates, and ask for favors. Do all you can to drive targeted traffic to your sales website. This will be a continuing endeavor in the future. For the time being, though, sit back and watch the sales begin to trickle in. Congratulate yourself for a job well done. Thank you for watching. Please help to subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends. The next upcoming video will be talking about 1. Where to go from here, and 2. Conclusion. By the way, if you also want to have the text version of these video series, you can refer to the download instructions that's stated in the description.